Hi, my name's Amanda Zanette, and I'm here to talk about section 4 of the City Game book titled The Players. This video is going to talk about the flow chart that talks about the training, and then I'm going to also introduce the community employees to you. For the flow chart, that's just there for you to know who do you train first. I personally like to start training the community employees. These are, their roles don't require you to have paperwork, so it's very easy to teach all of them within maybe about 40 minutes. But then when you move into teaching the management employees, you need to meet with each one for 45 minutes because they require a lot of paperwork. This paperwork, every 2 weeks after they've worked 2 weeks, you take that paperwork and we compile it into summaries, and that gets transferred to pay stubs. So that's why it's a little heavier to train the management employees. So that's the order of training. I'm gonna now talk about the jobs that are available for students for community employees. So the first job that we have is we have a homework manager. The homework manager is there to go into the inbox, collect the homework, and they have class lists and a duotang, and they check off who has completed their work. If a student's work is not completed on time, they go up to that student and they let them know, like, oh, we're missing your homework. Now, the student may have just forgotten to hand it in, but sometimes it may be they're like, I'm not done. So that student does need to go to their police officer and they get a late homework fine. In my classroom, and many of ours, I believe, obviously your goal is to help the students and you want to help push them to take initiative. So what I do is I get the students to come up to me and ask for an extension if they need one. So the goal is not for the students to be getting fined for having late homework. You want to encourage them to take initiative and go, yeah, okay, I've got grandma coming in town, I've got soccer, I need to go ask Miss Zanette, can I just get another day? So often when they ask me, it's 100% yes, because I love that they're taking initiative. The only time I say no is if they've been fooling around. Then I tell them, well, it looks like you've had enough time, so it needs to be in by tomorrow. So that's the role of the homework manager, is just making sure the homework's in on time, and then they pass it off to the teacher. The next community employee job is games monitor. It's just when there's rainy days and the kids are inside, it's just a student who's in charge of signing out games and then making sure all the pieces are coming back. We also have a blogger in my classroom. The blogger sits during homework time when we're doing planners, and they blog all the homework, and they even can add fun notes or even a little joke. This goes for the parents. I think it's very helpful for parents who are at work and they can check their child's homework before even picking up their child from school or daycare. I think it takes away that conversation of, how was your day? What did you do? Instead it's, hey, I noticed you have this, tell me more about it. And it just changes that conversation between the parents and the child. The other thing that's very helpful is those students who are away sick, they tend to look at the blog as well to have an idea of what they missed and what they can catch up on. So the next job I'm going to talk about is there's the projector document camera. Some people have a smart board. Just this student helps you set it up if your classroom requires that. This year was the first year, mine's already set up for me, so I didn't need a student. But in the past, it has been very helpful to have a student pull out the cart, plug everything and turn it on while you're getting a lesson prepared or you're meeting with a student. Another job we have is the librarian. I personally have series of books in my class that you don't want one to go missing, because when a student gets excited to read those books, they're upset when, oh, where's number 7 of Diary of a Wimpy Kid? So I like to make sure those are kept together. So the librarians are there to sign out those books. The rest of the books in my classroom, those are for the kids to take whenever they want. They can take them home. So that's the point of the librarian, and also they're there to make sure the books are organized and in order as they want to put them. They might put them in a series, they might put them into genres, it's up to them. So we also have boards and homework students. Those are the students where they go up at the end of the day and they'll ask the class, okay, what's for homework? And they write it on the board, and the rest of the class sits and they write in their planner, and then you've got your blogger also blogging what's for homework. So instead of the teacher still talking to the class, because we know we get annoyed listening to our parents, we get annoyed listening to our teacher, it changes the voice to students asking what is for homework. The beautiful thing about this, A, they're listening better, but B, it really helps those kids who forget what's for homework to recall that conversation because a kid may have thrown a joke out or something like that and go, oh yeah, we talked about it during planner time. So it changes the voice and it allows students to know that it empowers them basically. So that's the board manager. We usually have a second person who circulates to make sure everyone has their planner out. And in the past, I'll have students who will also in that role write up the day plan for me, and they also are in charge of wiping the boards at the end of the day. Another job we have is PE monitor. There's 2 of them. These students, what they do is they set up the PE class for us, and they pull out the pennies, and I do not start teaching until everything is set up and the kids are all in rows with their pennies on. So they help out and they help clean up as well. Next we have sweeper. I think you can figure that out. Someone who sweeps the classroom. We've got doors. This person is in charge of shutting the door when you leave the classroom, but also if there's a fire drill, they're the student that gets to sneak in into the school and go open the door for the rest of the class. Blinds and windows, we have students who are in charge of opening the blinds, closing them at the end of the day. This just really reduces the load off the teacher and off the custodians. Lights, we do try to preserve, energy, and what we do is when we leave the classroom, we turn the lights out. In my classroom, we also have white lights that are on the ceiling. So I will hire a student to do the white lights and one that does the lights at the door. So they'll come in the morning and turn on all the white lights for the class and then turn them off at the end of the day. Office messenger, I usually tend to choose a student who really needs to just exert energy. And this is a student who I might send a note to another teacher or ask if they can go get something from the office. Or maybe there's hot lunch that has arrived, you can assign your office messenger to be in charge of that. And lastly, we have garbage and recycling. Some of the schools have eliminated garbages, but you can hire a student to be in charge of taking the recycling from your room and putting it into the bigger bins outside of the classroom. These are the jobs I use in my classroom. Every single year we create extra jobs as well. I have other jobs such as even a bell person. One year the class would get quite loud. So a student said, can I be in charge of when it's too loud for me, can I just ring the bell? So we talked about how that's that person's job and I paid them. And that became a job in the classroom, and the students would respond to that student and knew that when that student found it too loud, they'd ring the bell and then they would quiet down. So anything in your classroom really can be a job, and just ask the students, do you notice anything else where we could use someone to help in the classroom? So thank you for listening. Those are the community employees. Have fun with it. And I hope you join us in listening to the jobs for the management employees. Thank you.